Coming to you live from the basement of an abandoned training facility where we talk about fighting, training, and events. It's the Fight Mixer Show, where you can hear about all the local and world combat sports happenings. Get ready. It's time to gear up and square up because we're going live on the Fight Mixer Show.
What's going on? Happy New Year, everybody. We are live with the legend himself, the man himself, fighting February 5th. I grew up watching this guy, the baddest motherfucker on the planet, Chris Leben. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, man. How's training going?
It's going, dude. It's going. I'm in fight camp, you know. I'm a month out, and I'm feeling it right now. So, shit sucks, but I guess that's right where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, man. And going against a tough opponent, this is going to be. How many times have you fought in BKFC? You've been there for quite a bit, right?
Well, this will be my fourth bare knuckle fight, but only two of the. So I had one for the garbage organization that didn't pay me. And then I've had two for BKFC, and that's been great. Right.
I heard about that. You fought for one promotion, and it was like a big controversy in the MMA community. Like, you fought for this promotion, and they ended up, did they, like, not pay you half, or, like, they skipped you? Do you completely grab the entire thing?
You there?
Yeah, man.
There we go. Okay, I got you. I was getting the type echo from top guy.
Me.
Try now.
You there?
I think so. Technical difficulties. Do you hear me?
That too?
Matt, do you?
I cannot understand. Yeah.
Let me kick you out, and we'll pull you back. Pull you back in. Dave.
You, I can hear perfect.
All right.
Is it me that ruined everything? That sounds about right.
You're good.
Okay, I'm good.
You're good.
All right. And usually.
Yeah, usually it's Gabe that has all the issues.
I'm the one that messes everything up, so I'm actually impressed that I'm the one that's on point.
Yeah, it sounded like David was kind of asking you about the promotion that you had some issues with. He's saying there was a big controversy in the MMA community about that. You want to go into that a little bit, or?
Yeah, so that was the Bare Knuckle Fighting Federation. I think that's the one that Boss Rutan was kind of the face for. You know, a lot of people thought he was the president, but he said he wasn't the president of that organization, and it was this guy Tom that was the owner. You know, as you know, the owner / investor. You know, used all this money that he stole from illegal real estate deals to fund the show. You know, showed Boss that the money was in his account and everything else. And then about 3 days before the show happened, the feds, you know, froze his bank account. You know, and they went ahead and they went ahead and had that show and made that show happen. And then they brought us in to give us checks, and they're like, "Hey, you want direct deposit or you want a check?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I want a fucking check," you know? And he's like, "Okay, but here's the thing. Don't cash it when you get home, you know?" And so this went on for, you know, the next week. "Hey, don't cash it this week, cash it next week.
Oh, shit.
This week, cash it next week." Next thing you know, I've had this fight. It's 2 months later. I'm like, "Hey, man, what the fuck is going on?" You know, come to find out, as things progressed, ultimately the guy Tom ends up in prison on, real estate embezzlement charges, so I got a lawsuit going. I still do. It's been a fucking nightmare. I've been to court like 4 times, and every time they postpone it because of something else. And then the COVID hit, and it's more. And the guy don't have any fucking money anyways, because all the money he had was stolen. So I'm wasting all this time and energy just trying to sue the fucker on principle, Honestly, I'm probably just going to give up on it, man. I hate to say it, but, I've got another hearing on the 22nd of this month. It's a video court hearing. We got robbed. I'm not the only one. Everybody on that card.
It sounds like MMA and bare knuckle boxing have some of the most unscrupulous promoters. Period. I've dealt with a lot of that nonsense in MMA.
Yeah. I mean, luckily, I've been around long enough to where I was like, hey, look, man, you're a brand new promotion. You're going to have to give me some money up front. Yeah. So I got some of they were off. It was crazy the amount of money they were trying to offer some of these guys too. So I shouldn't thought it. I should have known it was fishy. But, I called Boss. Boss vouched for the guys. The money was legit. They were going to pay me. I made some calls and everything else and decided, okay, I'll go ahead and stick with these guys. And you know what? I should have trusted my first instinct. That's my fault. If it's too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. But, at least I got some money. Like I said, I don't think most of the other people did. Probably none of them.
Yeah, I had a fight, an MMA fight where everyone got stiffed, but I told the promoter in advance because I'd heard from his previous promotion that I asked for a certified check. And I was the only one who got paid for the whole event.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good times.
Yeah. I remember years and years ago, I fought on a show for a guy named Paul Herrera. It was
I know Paul.
Yeah, it was Hitman the movie part 2, and that was back when MMA was still illegal in California. So they got away with it by saying it was a fucking
wrestling
movie, and even if you got slept, they'd raise they might raise your hand if you were already the predetermined winner. Well, in the end of this, for years it wasn't on my record, and then they fucking at the end of my fight, I fought this guy. God, I gotta remember his name. But he was the jiu-jitsu teacher at Tiki's gym right there in Orange County. The referee looks over at me and goes, "Don't worry, buddy. You won that fight." They raise his hand. It's not on my record for years and years, the fight. And then it pops up on my record. And also the thing is they fucking tried to pay me like I lost the fight. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. Turns out I found out, I think I even heard he was betting some people on the fights, like crazy.
Yeah, good times.
But I like Paul. He's a good guy. This is a long time ago. I'm talking about maybe 17 years ago.
Holy shit.
I fought this kid. I think Kale fought Babalu on that same card.
Yeah, I fought a fight in Hollywood at a nightclub where they told us if we get raided, tell them it's pro wrestling and that it's predetermined and that there's no MMA involved. And I'm like, we're gonna get raided. They're like, yeah, we might go to jail. If we do, don't worry, we'll bail you out. All right,
that's the old school right there, bro.
Let's go do it. Yeah.
Where was that at?
It was at a nightclub in Hollywood. I'll never forget. It was actually. I think all those guys, Paul Herrera, Bobby Gamboa, Quentin Jackson, all those guys, they were all involved in like.
I feel like I remember this show. I think they also used instead of ring girls, they used like the fucking Vivid girls. they porn stars for the ring card. I know they did for well, this is a funny story. That at that same Hitman show, they used porn stars for the ring card girls.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys remember Aaron Brink.
Aaron Brink. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Aaron
Oh,
Brink
yeah. Come on.
fighting on the card. So I'm backstage warming up with my coach, Robert Follis. Well, this was back when Aaron Brink was big in those movies, you know? And he's sitting there with his girlfriend. She pulls a fucking weed pipe out of her vagina. And I mean, she was only wearing a thong, you know, and starts to light up back in the locker room, right? And my coach looks at her and he goes, "What the fuck are you doing? I got fighters back here," you know? And Aaron's like, and I love Aaron. Aaron's great, you know. He's been sober for years. He's a good guy down here. But you know, he looks at my coach and he goes, "Don't talk to her like that. She's a lady." And I was just like, so that was my first experience with Aaron Brink. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. He had an academy. Aaron had an academy for a while. It was called the Aaron Brink Face Punching Academy. It lasted about 2 months.
Love the name, bro.
Yeah, the exceptional name. I was like, that is the best name of any gym I've ever heard of. The Aaron Brink Face Punching Academy.
Yeah, man. Well, back in the day, bro, if that guy caught you clean, he knocked a lot of dudes out, man.
He's a big puncher. Was a big puncher.
That first round.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well,
This was back in 2000. I don't mean to interject, but this was back in 2004, like right in between, like that. Those were some crazy years for you because you were on a fucking tear. Like you won the championship in Gladiator Challenge and you won the championship in WBC, and then you got signed on to the Ultimate Fighter. This was around that time frame, right?
That's correct. Yeah. This
Holy
was right in there with the Gladiator Challenge days. Yeah. Maybe either during my Gladiator Challenge or right before, right then. So I can't even imagine what year that must have been. 2005, 2004, something like that.
Yeah. It was so crazy how it all played out because you were one of the best in the world. Diego Sanchez was on a fucking tear. Like I believe what's his name? Another guy that was on the show. Bobby Southworth. He fought in Pride. So you had all these group of guys together, and I'm going to segue into to a big topic. But you had you were training with Team Quest, right? You were training with Randy Couture, and and Randy Couture just got back from Japan. What's the Ultimate Fighter before or after Randy Couture cornered Rulon Gardner for Pride? That you guys taped the Ultimate Fighter.
I think it was after, actually.
Shit,
After?
I can't remember, man. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but
It's funny too because sometimes I guess I get hit in the head for a living, but I talk to people all the time. They know fucking more about my fucking record than I do. I'm like, really? Yeah.
David's an encyclopedia. So,
But you are, man. But you're 100% right. You know that first season of the Ultimate Fighter, they really handpicked the guys. Everybody that ended up on that show was already knocking on the UFC's door. And I think that's what, that's one of the things that made that first season so great. And one of the reasons so many guys off that show ultimately progressed to have amazing careers, become Hall of Famers and everything else. I mean, you got Stephen Bonner, you got Forrest Griffin, you got Kenny Florian, Diego Sanchez, me, and a ton of, guys that did really well and had long, great Mike Swick, great careers.
Yeah.
Ken Florian.
Yeah. But you had two great coaches and you had probably one of the most talented group in that, in that time frame. But did you guys know, like back in that day, that the entire company encompasses, the entire company was on the line. Like if the Ultimate Fighter 1 failed, that was the last money that they were going to invest in the UFC was in the Ultimate Fighter. Did you guys know that, like going into the show, or did you guys just find that out after the show and after it was a success?
Yeah, no, we had no idea. I mean, we knew that the show might not even be on TV. You know what I mean? Like I had no clue what was writing on that show, and obviously none of us knew what the repercussions of that show were going to be, and just how successful it was going to be, what it was going to do for the UFC, what it was going to do for me, my career, for everybody else. I mean, it was for that time frame, it was the fucking perfect recipe. You know, they finally got it right. You know, that show allowed people to kind of get to know the athlete, so that they wanted to watch you. You know, they had emotion invested in you fighting, whether they loved you or hated you. You know, coming off that show, there was a lot of people that loved me. There was probably more that fucking just really wanted me to see me lose bad, you know? And
I thought we could party together.
That's it, man. And that's, you know, that's the trick to selling tickets, bro, is getting people to fucking care one way or another.
Yeah. Gabe, did you try out for the Ultimate Fighter, right?
Yeah. What's that?
I thought you were involved with the Ultimate Fighter. You had something to do with it, right?
I didn't try out. I was, I basically, yeah, I was on season 5, so a long time ago. Yeah, many years ago. I didn't even talk about that shit.
Yeah.
So heading into your next,
I'll tell you a funny story about when I tried out for the Ultimate Fighter. The first tryout was, they said, okay, they walk you into this room, you're by yourself, they sit you down in front of this fucking video camera, and they say, we just want you to talk for 5 minutes, right? So, and you got to think about a 23-year-old, 22-year-old Chris Leben. I was pretty confident. Let's just put it that way, right? You know, so they sit me down in front of this car. I don't remember what I said, man, but what ended up happening was about 3 minutes into my fucking rant over why I should be on the show, the fucking side door swings open, and Dana White and Craig Pelagian, the producer of the show, come busting in the room, just cracking up, fucking laughing. And they're like, dude, that's it. You're on the fucking show. You're on. Now, they had tryouts planned for like a week for that first season, you know? So within 2 minutes, they were like, nope, that guy's on the fucking show. And I ended up spending the next fucking couple days sitting in my fucking hotel room because they had me locked down. I had to put a sign on my door like, could somebody bring me some food? Like, I didn't do any of the other tryouts, man. That was it.
Holy shit.
I fucking hate that guy.
He doesn't like to shake hands, man. That's weird to me.
He's a fucking asshole. Fuck. You know, it's funny is I was training at a CrossFit gym and I met his son. And his son goes, oh yeah, you were on the Ultimate Fighter. My dad was the producer. And he's like, I'm sorry, man. My dad's an asshole. Like, dude, his own fucking son saying he's an asshole. Yeah. Genuine, like true.
You know what? I don't want to say fake. Like, I don't know. Like, how do you explain that guy, bro? He's a fucking asshole. Fair enough. I don't hate him. But yeah, he's an asshole. He's just an asshole, you know?
Yeah. That question. Again, his own son told me, he's like, yeah, my dad's an asshole. I'm sorry. Like, dude, your own son's calling you an asshole. Fuck, come on. You're an asshole. If your own kid's calling you an asshole, you're an asshole.
You know?
So being a part of the season that helped build the UFC to what it is today, and going to BKFC, like a completely new sport, were there any reservations because you had this long, incredible career in the UFC? I mean, you fought the likes of like Vanderlei Silva, you fought Anderson Silva, you fought the who's who. Did you have any reservations when you ended that chapter of your career going to BKFC and this pretty much this new entity and going into bare knuckle fighting?
Well, my story, obviously my UFC career did not end the way that I wanted it to. I was having a lot of issues, outside of the cage, a lot of substance abuse issues, relationship issues, and ultimately my last couple fights, I didn't put on nearly the performances that I'm known for. My last fight in the UFC, between rounds, I just didn't get off the stool. I was like, fuck it, I don't even want to fight, and that was crippling for me, man. That put me into a huge depression, because here's a guy that, everybody, that's the first thing they say, man, you fucking take those shots, dude, and you just keep going, and I fucking quit, man. I quit my last fight in the UFC. And it broke my heart. So, ultimately, I sobered up, I got sober. I changed the people I surround myself with, and I tried to sign with Bellator. And then when my pre-fight medicals found out, they fucking told me I needed a new heart, because apparently alcohol and cocaine are not good for your heart. Yeah. So, fast forward like 3 years of being sober and fucking living on the beach, training every day, taking the right vitamins and Chinese herbs for my heart. My cardiologist continued to tell me, hey, wow, this is amazing. Your heart's getting better. You don't need a new heart now. You only need a pacemaker. We can't believe it. It's a miracle. You don't even need a fucking pacemaker now, Chris, And then finally I said, well, hey, because now I never stopped training for a day. Initially, they didn't even want me to walk up a set of stairs, and I would train my Barrett Yoshida, my jiu-jitsu coach, he'd have me rolling. And when I got too pale, because I get pale white, he'd make me stop and lay down. And then I'd go back to doing rounds, so I didn't take a day off from training. And next thing I know, man, here I am in great shape, and I'm kicking the shit out of, all the 20-year-old pros in the gym. And I'm like, fuck, man, I want to, come back. And now Bellator they weren't really that interested anymore, because a few years had passed, and well, fuck it, man. Bare knuckle, that looks like something pretty cool. I can go out there. At first Bare Knuckle called me, and I was like, nah, I'm not interested. And then I got on YouTube and I looked it up, and I was like, dude, small fucking circle ring, dudes just going toe to toe, slugging. This sport was built for me, and I was, and I thought about it, and I was like, hell yeah, man, I want to do it, So, that's what I did, and ultimately up until now, I've had 3 fights, 2 first round knockouts. My last fight, everything went wrong. They told me I wasn't going to be able to fight, so I didn't cut weight, and they told me to cut weight, so I had to cut it all in a matter of hours. Ended up putting myself into shock to make weight. Then they told me I couldn't fight the day of the fight. Then they drove me across Florida to pass this heart test. I passed the test. Then they drove me straight from there back. I hadn't had any food or water. Then I got in the ring to fight. My legs were fucking cramping. I couldn't sit down in between rounds because my legs were cramping so bad. And I ended up fighting a 5-round war against Dakota Cochran, man, who's a tough motherfucker, dude. And you know what, man, my hat's off to him, because I hit him with my best shots and he stayed right in front of me. He hit me with his best shots. At the end of 5 rounds, I had 36 stitches above my eye here. I was cut here. They had to sew my nose back on. I had a broken orbital. You know what? But I stood in there toe to toe and slugged it out with that motherfucker all 5 rounds. So now that changes the way my martial arts career finishes. You know what I mean? I don't have to tell people, no, I fucking quit on the stool on my last fight. I can tell them, about the rise, the fall, and then the rise again.
The Phoenix.
And hopefully that story goes, to inspire some people, because a lot of, fighters, I got a saying, man, fighters are like strippers. They're not paying their way through college. What I mean by that is that there's always some deep, dark secret that you decided you're going to go risk getting your face smashed in, maybe, in front of your friends and family. And if you do well, you might risk getting your face smashed in on national TV. You know what I mean? Like, that's not logical. Most people are not, fuck that, I'm going to college. You know what I mean? But you put all your eggs in one basket to do this, so I hope that, down the road and as a coach, that story and what I've been through, that hopefully, it can, I can help inspire some people, and particularly, fighters, athletes with alcohol or drug abuse problems, I have a soft spot in my heart for that. I'm continually on my social media, talking to people, reaching out to people, pointing them in the right directions, and doing everything I can because I know how real that struggle is.
So one more question.
And in a long story short, man, that's why I wanted to fight bare knuckle.
Shit. So, Chris, I've seen you refereeing a few times in the amateur circuit down in San Diego. Are you going to keep doing that, the officiating for the state commission, or do you feel like that's something that you're just not going to do anymore?
No, I'm going to do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think the more and more referees that have MMA experience and the judges that we get, because who's going to know fighting better than an actual fighter? You know what I mean? Like with the judges and the referees that I've seen you a few times. Frank Trigg is in there. Yep. I think California is becoming stronger just because we're having these guys with the real experience that are getting in there.
Yeah, and every state is different. I think California is really at the forefront for the way that we run our commission, the way that the judging is monitored. The way that everything, I mean, if you go to a show, a pro or an amateur show out here, it runs like in clockwork, and there's nothing crazy ever happens, man. The commission does its job in California. It's really set up well. And I, like you said, I've been working, refereeing and judging for CAMO, which is the amateur commission out here in California for, 3 years, almost 4 years, I guess. But the last year, not too much, the last, I guess, 9 or 10 months since this COVID hit. But ultimately, yeah, that's, my progression as a martial artist, this will probably be my last fight. I'm pretty certain that is, I'm going to, finish up my career with this bare knuckle fight. And then, I want to progress into officiating, coaching, judging, refereeing, and eventually, go pro and work for CSAC, and hopefully one day you'll see me, judging and refereeing the UFC, Bellator, LFA, all those bigger shows. That's the plan.
Good.
Gotcha. So I got one more question before we let you go. So your opponent, February 5th, young up-and-comer, Quentin Henry, he says he's going to give you a glorious death. You say you're going to put him in a body bag. What's your opinions on your opponent? What's your strategy going into this fight? What's your feelings on him, and how you think this fight's going to go? Obviously, you think it's going to go in your favor, but how you think the fight's going to play out?
Well, you know what, man? They asked me who I wanted to fight. I watched the tape. I saw the way that kid fights, dude. He's a slugger. You know what I'm saying? He's lived by the sword, died by the sword. Ultimately, my last fight, I want it to be a memorable one. I want it to be a slugfest, in the way bare knuckle fighting is supposed to be, and he's gonna bring it, man. He's gonna bring it. He's got some fucking heavy hands. He's got some big knockouts. And certainly, I'm training my ass off. So he's gonna try to knock me out. I'm gonna try to knock him out. Yeah, there's some strategy involved. I'm watching tape on him, going, okay, he does this, I'm gonna do that. You know what I mean? Like any fight. But I think he's a tough fight. He's a tough fight for me, and I'm preparing for it that way. I'm training for it that way. I certainly didn't want to have just an easy nobody for my last fight. You know what I mean? That's not who Chris Leben is.
Right.
That's not the kind of guy I am. And what he said is right, man. I'm gonna go out. I'm either gonna live by the sword or I'm gonna die by the sword, man. That's just, we're come February 5th, dude. Me and that dude are going to war, and one of us is going down, and I'm doing everything in my fucking power. You know, I'm not a big shit talker, so what I'll say is one of us is going down. I'm doing everything that I fucking possibly can to make sure that it's not me. I'm training my ass off, so you know what? I hope he's doing the same thing, because I'm going to be in shape. I'm going to be ready to go. And you know what? He's got heavy hands, but I think everybody knows that mine aren't light. So we'll see who's are heavier.
Fuck yeah, man. And we can't wait to watch your last fight. You know, honor talking to you. It was a pleasure following your entire career. Can't wait to watch your last fight. But where can we follow you? Where can we see your Instagram, Facebook? Where can we find you?
Yeah, man. You know what? Instagram, Twitter. I think it's Chris Leben MMA. You know, if you just look, I'm the blue check on Instagram, Twitter, and if you guys want to watch the fight on BKFC, the easiest way to do it is there's a link on my Instagram. If you click that link, I think it saves you like $1. It's like $4 a month for the BKFC app, and I think I get a quarter. So
I think it's 50.
You
I think you're
on my
short.
fucking app to sign up to watch my fight, man. It's only like $4 or $5, dude. Well worth the money. Well worth it.
Real cheese, brother. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show, man. You are an absolute fucking legend.
Download our app.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, man.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Good skill.
Bye. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll talk to you.
Yes, sir. Gabe, can I tell you something?
It's been too long. I'm getting bad at losing.
Gabe, I have to tell you something. And guys, I'm gonna be completely honest here. I was so nervous talking to him. Like, I'm nervous around the legends, like the people I grew up watching, just like Gabe the first episode. I was so fucking nervous. I forgot Gabe was on The Ultimate Fighter. And I was trying to like segue and like I played it off like a joke, like, oh, like so fucking nervous that I forgot Gabe was on The Ultimate Fighter.
Gabe was a 2-time WEC champ.
I know, and
three times. My bad, man.
I mean,
my bad.
You know, 2 or 3. It doesn't really matter.
Around the legends, man, I always have this fucking problem. It's just like an ongoing issue. Like, first episode with me and Gabe, I was like, fucking holy shit, what am I doing here? Like, same concept with fucking
Chris Leben is way more of a legend than I am, man. Like,
we're doing things a little bit different.
You guys all helped build the sport, so I was nervous around all you guys. Shit.
Do you ever see his fight with Mike Swick for the WC championship?
Yes, that was what I was talking about.
That fight was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah. And this is how much of a fucking animal that Chris Leben is. The fight before that, he won the Gladiator Challenge Championship, and then he fights Mike Swick and puts on a fucking 5-star fight. Crazy. You gotta go back and watch it. Crazy. Ridiculous.
We're gonna be doing a new studio, and we're gonna have Quentin on, so everybody follow us. We're gonna be moving over to another studio to have Quentin Henry on. We'll do an interview over there.
You're here.
I got to end this broadcast.
God damn it.
I know. It's getting good.
Perfect.